All right, everyone. Well, today we're going to talk about commas in a series of nouns. A comma it looks like a period, but it's definitely not a period. It has a little tail on the bottom of it. Why do we use commas, or how do we use commas? A comma tells the reader where to pause. So remember, when we talk about being a good reader, when you come across a comma, you take a breath, or you just pause for 1 second and continue reading. It makes the meaning of the sentence clear, and you'll see how that works in just a couple minutes. But remember, when we did conjunctions and we combined two sentences, we always used a comma because it made the meaning of the sentence clear. It showed the reader that it was two full sentences put together. You can use commas in a series. When you list 3 or more words together in a sentence, the list is called a series. Go ahead and say series out loud. You can use commas to separate nouns in a series. Remember, a noun is a person, place, or thing. A common noun is one that is not capitalized. It is not a name of something. A proper noun is capitalized and is a name of something. You can use series with either common nouns or proper nouns, either one. Here is an example. When you use common nouns, Ellie likes carrots, potatoes, and green beans. Now you don't say the comma when you read it. I was doing that to show you where the comma goes. If I read this sentence, I would sound like, Ellie likes carrots, potatoes, and green beans. When using proper nouns, you can do the same thing. Anne, Marie, and TJ do not like beets. But you do not say the word comma when you read the sentence out loud. You would say it like this. Anne, Marie, and TJ do not like beets. Notice that there are 3 nouns in each of those sentences. However, I only use 2 commas. A comma after the first noun, a comma after the second noun before the but I don't put a comma after the and. Here's an interactive question. I'm going to put a sentence up and you try to decide where the commas will go. Joe, David, and Javon raked the garden soil. Let's see, where I gotta identify where my nouns are and if they're in a series. So Joe, David, and Javon are 3 proper nouns. So I'm going to put a comma after Joe, after David. Joe, David, and Javon raked the garden soil. I do not put a comma after and. Here's another one. The class voted on vegetables, fruits, and flowers. Where are the nouns? Say the 3 nouns in this series. Yep, vegetables, fruits, and flowers. I put a comma after vegetables, a comma after fruits, but I do not put a comma after and. The class planted squash, tomatoes, and marigolds. You can see that when I read this sentence, I don't pause between squash and tomatoes. But I should, because there's no such thing as a squash tomato. Doesn't exist. The class planted squash, tomatoes, and marigolds is how it should sound. Where is the series in that sentence? That's right, it's squash, tomatoes, and marigolds. I'm going to put a comma after squash, a comma after tomatoes, but I do not put a comma after and. Okay, here are your practice questions. On your homework sheet, write the sentence correctly. You're going to copy the sentence completely and put in the commas where they need to go. Each of these series only have 3 nouns, so you're only going to use 2 commas. Come to class tomorrow with any questions that you may have. Pause the video if you need time to copy the sentences. Have a wonderful night.